All right.
Love the shirt, Tom.
Awesome. Sorry, I had some
Uh,
business to take care of.
Lieutenant there.
Can I give you just one
All right. Good
second?
morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Good
Morning,
morning.
Jim.
Hey guys, how are you?
Lisa, are you ready to go? You got everything ready on your end that you need?
I am ready. I've got my coffee and my PowerPoint presentation.
Awesome. Cool,
I
cool.
can't wait, Lisa. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm excited. Hope you guys are getting ready for Christmas. We got what, 8 more days? Can you guys believe it?
No,
Our weather is so nice, it's hard to believe it's even close to Christmas. Mark's sitting here in shorts and a t-shirt and just beautiful weather.
love it.
That's my kind of weather.
My-
What are you guys doing? And what are you guys doing for Christmas? Anybody got doing anything special?
We go to friend's house. We've got about 12 people that we get together with every Christmas Eve and do that. And then we'll have our family get together another day.
Neat.
We're staying home. We've been
Yes.
traveling so much, we're just staying home.
Yep.
You guys have been on the go constantly.
We have been lately.
Now, I'm excited you guys are coming into the Dealmaker family in Jackson, Mississippi.
We
Yes,
are
all right.
too.
That's
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
Love it.
Looks like Kim's one of those people flying one of those drones. Um,
We're waiting for the drones to pick us up for Christmas.
she's part of the drone conspiracy over there, guys. So be careful of her. Watch out for her. She's
Watch
spying.
out, we're spraying.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna get started here unless you got something you want to kick us off with, Jim.
No, you're good.
All right, cool. So let's kind of go over what we got here. So welcome to the Dealmaker Community Calls, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jim, for helping us put this on and doing all this for us. Thank you, Lisa, today, who's going to be our speaker today. She talked about short-term, midterm rentals. Had the cool opportunity to go see her in Austin about a month ago, 2 months ago. Really cool group that she's got down there. And I'm excited to hear from her today. I'm always picking up things that we learn. We've got a ton of these. We manage 52 midterm rentals ourselves, and it's a big part of what we do or what my wife does on a daily basis. So we are working on this super hard, but excited to have these community calls. Invite your friends, let everybody know. We have found an issue on our email list over the last month. And I think we're fixing that. So it's possible people haven't been getting the emails. So it's a deliverable issue with Go High Level, but we're figuring that out and we're gonna warm that list up. We switched everybody over to back to active campaign in the meanwhile, so you guys should be getting your emails if you haven't been getting them. But if you're not getting them, let me know. So I appreciate Jim for helping us out with that a little bit, and Nathan's going to be helping us. Nathan Elber, if you guys know him from our community, on that as well. So last month's call was with Forrest. He did a really cool job on fix and flips and his story. Hopefully you guys got to see that. If not, you guys can go right over to the goodsuccess.com dealmaker calls and you guys can see those or that video from last month. Today is Lisa. I'm going to talk about short-term, I think, and midterm rentals, if I'm not mistaken. I'm excited to have her. She's a leader down in Austin, Texas for a monthly meetup group. And, Jim is looking for more people around the country. Just talked to Amy and Brian about starting one in Mississippi. Excited about that. I think we've got 12 or 13. And I'm really excited about this community, guys. I really believe that we can compete with National RIA on a big, type of level. And really, honestly, I think we can create something really amazing around the country. I'm really excited to be a part of this with Jim. And I'm excited for Jim because I think this is going to be an amazing community nationwide, and who knows where it could go from there. So we're excited about that. Want to remind everybody about our September event coming up in September 4th through 6th with our 3-day event there. And then if you guys haven't got the videos from last time, upcoming also, we've got this. I think there's like 2 more rooms left that they can put you guys in for the Investor Addicts Cruise. Many people on this call are going. I know me and Jim are both going, but Lisa's going too. So there you go. Our speaker today is going to be there. It's going to be a really I'm actually more excited about this cruise than any cruise I've been on in like 10 years. I'm telling you, this is going to be a really good cruise. all of the speakers that you want to hear are going to be there. So I'm excited about this one. It's going to be really fun. A really fun group of people that are going to be on there. Save the dates for March 18th through the 21st, guys. EliteDealmakers.com. I think you got there. You
Those
guys
are the wrong dates, Tom, just so you
are
know.
you kidding me? All right.
That's
What-
okay. We had swapped them a couple times, but it's the 26th to the 28th.
Thank
The
you for letting me
website's
know.
right. And there's a $75 off if you register this week.
Awesome. So make that happen, guys. If you have not already registered, you're going to want to be there. This is going to be the biggest deal maker we've ever had, right, Jim?
Yes.
Jim's got a brand new venue, twice the size of last year. And I don't even know all the details. All I know is there's a ton of sponsors. So there's going to be a huge expo, on top of everything that's going on. And I know, all I know is I'm doing a mastermind, and I'm excited about that as well. So, hopefully, so if Jim,
I
if
put
you
it
don't
in the
mind
chat.
sending me a new, or I can get my team to do that if you want, but,
We'll get you a new graphic.
that'd be good. So, I'm excited about this. I really am excited about this meeting. Oh, and then also, it's not on here. I apologize, but do you guys have any tickets left for the January event?
Mhm.
Okay, so if you guys still haven't signed up for the lenders meeting in January, is it the same website, Elite Deal Makers, or is it a
I'll
different?
put it in the chat.
Okay, yeah, Jim's gonna put that in the chat. So if you guys can make that meeting, if you're a borrower or a lender, you need to be there.
think
Basically,
so.
like that's the best way I can put that. Trying to learn how to raise private capital, or if you're trying to be a lender, I think it's really good to have a stage where both people say, hey, these are my issues. Hey, these are my issues. Hey, let's come together. Let's work together. Let's make it a win-win. And I really believe the people that are putting this on, I believe it's Jeff Shahusky, Chuck Glover speaking, Jim, and Jeff Watson. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Those guys are all going to be kind of giving you guys really good information about that. So hopefully you guys can make it to that. I did want to remind everybody at the end of the year, I'm still raising money for our senior mission trip. Sometimes people want to get on something at the end of the year. Do you have, maybe you want to, finish off your charity giving for the year? I wanted to kind of just mention this quickly.
I gave some this morning, Tom. I
Oh,
love
I
it.
appreciate that, Jim. I really do. So far we've raised about $12,000 and our goal is to raise $30,000 for that. About 25 of that will go to the kids, and 5 of that is going to be going to the actual missionary or something. And then in addition to that, I don't know if you guys know this or not. I'm excited about this, Jim, but I think I've got it connected where Augie's going to be able to do a drop with the kids as part of this trip as well. So with Share the Love, I know a lot of you guys already give to that as well. So I'm excited about that. So my daughter's going to be on this trip. I will be on this trip with them. I've been a sponsor, and I've gone with them the last 3 years, and I'll continue to do that as long as they let me. And then also, this is a really good friend of mine as well in Chimaltenango, Guatemala. His name is Dan Wilder. So we're excited about that trip. Next month, I've never heard from Felipe. Is it Felipe?
He's on right now. Let's get a
Is it
preview.
Philip or Felipe?
Go ahead and unmute.
Unmute.
I saw him on earlier. There he is. Oh, maybe he's away from his computer for a moment. There you go.
So
Hi, can you hear me?
yeah, so give us a little bit of taste of what you're going to talk about next month.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. My Wi-Fi went out, so I'm on my mobile here, so it's a little iffy. But we're going to be talking about some deal killers and how to avoid them. We're going to be focusing primarily on fix and flips, which is our bread and butter, but it applies to BRRRR and everything else in between.
Awesome.
Are you still in Portugal or are you back in the US?
No, I'm back. I'm back in McKinney. I'm back home. It was enough sightseeing. We were in Portugal for about 10 days, the wife and I.
Love
It was beautiful out there, but we are back now. Back to business.
Very, very good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Well, I'm
excited
excited
to
to hear
share
from you.
next month. Looking forward
Yes.
to it.
I'm excited. So it's the 4th. So just so you guys know, normally these calls are going to be the 4th Tuesday. I know we've done a little bit of different the last 2 months just for the holidays' sake. But we'll go back on that 4th Tuesday schedule, January 28th. I'm looking forward to hear from you, Felipe, and just learning what he's got. So without further ado, Lisa, are you ready? I'm going to give you the floor here and let you have at it. Wow, the chat room is hopping today.
That's what we like.
Oh, there we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we do primarily midterm rentals. We do have one short-term rental out in Louisiana that we have, but our basic business is midterm rentals. And this all came about kind of by accident. I was going out to Louisiana, finishing up our short-term rental, and it's a 5-hour drive. So I was listening to Furnish Finder, and I called up Mark and I said, we're going to do midterm rentals. So he's like, all right. He jumped on board. And my goal really was to do 10 of them. And to date, we've set up 8. We're getting ready to move into our 8th. We started out arbitraging. Well, we had one house that we owned and we arbitraged 4 apartments. We found out that we preferred to own them. Too many people telling us what we can do and can't do, and of course taking a piece of the pie. So we slowly, as soon as the lease was up on 2 of them, we moved on, and then we're moving out of the 3rd one. So when the 4th one comes up, we'll completely be out of arbitrage. But it's a really good business, and we've enjoyed it. It's gone very smooth. Midterm rental basically is a 30-day stay or more. And ours, we've had people book them for 8 months, 6 months. So it's gone really well. Typically, they're going to be, they're going to be professionals that stay. So they want to stay for a longer stay. One thing that I really recommend, if you start midterm rentals, read 30-day stay. It gives you such a good, quick understanding of what midterm rental is and what you need to do with it. And then Furnish Finder has the podcast that I was telling you I listened to, the Landlord Diaries. Some of them are really good. I skipped through them. Bigger Pockets does have some information, and then Optimize Your B&B. I love that book. It goes over a lot of what you can do. I am going to add one resource that I just discovered, and it kind of made a huge difference in our property. Rank Breeze. That'll be up here next. Rank Breeze brought to my attention that I was charging a lot more for our cleaning fee than everybody around. I couldn't figure out why the Louisiana property wasn't renting, and we kind of tweaked it and did this and that. I lowered my cleaning fee by $25, and we booked up. So people look at that stuff and people notice it, and we had stayed booked up after I made that little tweak. Midterm versus long-term and short-term. Short-term, there are a lot of places that aren't allowing it anymore. And Austin is one of those. And by the way, Tom, we don't identify with Austin. We are not from Austin.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
We're in Georgetown, Central Texas. No, we kid about that. We don't want anything to do with Austin. Anyway.
I don't blame you.
So they are tightening up on restrictions, and there's a lot to do with the hospitality tax on it and everything else with that. Long-term rentals, you've got a guest in there, but rents are a lot lower than they were with midterm. We are making about double what we are on a long-term rental. Higher rents. Why midterm rentals? Higher rents. Professionals. We have professionals that stay there. They go to work, they work hard, they come home, they sleep and repeat, and that's it. We don't have families and kids and all of that. It's a lot less turnover than short-term rentals, so we stay booked up. Our income is a lot better than the short-term rentals were. In our area, it's lower competition, and I know that that's going to change, but we set the rate, and it's less vacancy. We rent to, and when I first did this, traveling nurses, executives, people building a house, seasonal travelers. We are now getting in Temple a lot of workers that work on I believe it's the solar farms or something, but we've been staying pretty booked up with them. So don't limit in your head who your guest is going to be, because it's anybody that's working in the area temporarily. What type of property do well? We've found that the smaller properties that are 2-bedroom do really well. We had a 1-bedroom apartment that stayed full, or actually we had 4 1-bedroom apartment stayed well. And I'm on a lot of groups. I will hear people say, Furnished Finder doesn't work. And people ask, and they've got a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house. No, that's not typically what Furnished Finder people are looking for. They're just looking for a 1-bedroom place to crash versus a hotel. Funding your midterm rental, there are tons of ways: private money, second home loan, conventional loan, DSCR, HELOC, commercial loan. There's equity partner, seller finance. There are a lot of ways. And as we've always done, we have private money for all of our properties. Analyzing long-term and midterm. Couple of the things, I believe it was the 30-day stay that kind of gave some guidelines. You want someplace that has population growth 20% over 10 years, job growth 2 to 3% year over year, wage and income 1% over year, rental rates increase 1 to 3% per year, and home values 40% increase over 10 years. And of course, the crime rate going down. So analyze your areas, and there are different ways that you can analyze them. I don't know if I have a slide in here for that, but there's AirDNA. I use Zillow, kind of lets me know what is available for rentals, Furnished Finder, Airbnb. So there are a lot of ways to look at what's available out there. In our area, it worked out to where we just noticed that the people on Furnished Finder or Airbnb pretty much just had a room. They quickly made the bed, took a picture with their phone and slapped it up. And so that's where we felt that we could stand out and charge quite a bit more than the competition. Metrics to analyze: vacancy, cash flow, cash on cash return, landlord paid utilities, CapEx, and maintenance. So you've got to take all of those into account when you're analyzing whether it's a good property for midterm rental. Occupancy, if it's over 70%, I say raise the rent. You're leaving money on the table, and ours have been rented out more than 70%. So we do need to raise the rent on those. I would rather keep them less occupied at a higher rent. But that is completely up to you as far as your tolerance for having vacancies and everything. Can you self-manage anywhere? Absolutely. We live 5 hours away from our short-term rental. We have an amazing cleaning lady, never failed me yet, and a gentleman that maintains the 3 acres out there. He mows it and keeps the pond clear and does a great job. And then, if you need maintenance done, of course, you've got to have people that you can rely on and call. So it's very easy to self-manage. Short-term rental locations. And this to me is, there's tons of places that need short-term rental. Ours are near a hospital. The one that we just purchased and are rehabbing is near the new Samsung facility in Taylor. So key places would be near tourist attractions, convention, airport, sports stadium, beach, lake, state park, and the clientele, tourists and vacationers. That's typically for short-term what you're looking for. Midterm, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself here. Midterm, near hospital, large corporations, research centers, universities, and they are professionals and digital nomads. We had one that stayed with us for 8 months building a house. So a lot of midterm rentals are looking at insurance when somebody has an insurance issue and they have to move out of their house to have the property repaired. So that might be an avenue to look into, speaking to the person that houses for insurance. Where to list your midterm rental? There's a lot of places you can list your midterm rental. I don't list on VRBO because I just don't think it's owner friendly. They don't screen. I've had issues with people from VRBO, and we stay full from Zillow, Furnish Finder, Airbnb, so we're pretty happy with those. Tools of the trade. So for automation, it's really important. With us having 6 properties coming and going, we've got to have be on top of it. So we use Hospitable, and this shoots out auto text the minute somebody books the property, and it gives them instructions and check in, check out directions, how they'll get their door key. Hospitable automatically sets the door code to the last 4 of their phone number. So there's a lot of automation through Hospitable, but there are other ones that do the same thing. A lot of people use Hostfully, Guesty, OwnerRez. Just check them out. Just make sure that they do exactly what you want them to do. The idea with these tools is to, when you upload your listing to VRBO and Airbnb and other platforms, it automatically shoots all of the information. So if somebody books on Airbnb, it automatically books out on VRBO and all the other platforms, so you don't overbook. And there's a lot more to Hospitable that it does that I have not gotten into, but it's just a great tool. All of those are really good tools. So pricing your midterm rental, I use a program called, I have to look now. Let's see, Price Labs. So I use Price Labs to price, and it does the same thing. It goes across all platforms. So it'll tell me during the week, you need to have it priced at this, and the competition has that. So, and it goes off of availability and what's going on in the area. You really need to have something like that. And I think RentBreeze does the same thing. Like I said, I just started using that, and that may replace Price Labs. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more. So pricing your midterm rental, just look across all platforms, see what's available. If there's not a lot available, price it at the top or above, and just make it stand out. Like a lot of times there's just no competition, so you can stand out. Other resources, you can look at Google Street View and city data to kind of get an idea. Leases, you do want to sign a lease with 30-day stay or more. What I'm learning though is the lease does not reference you as a landlord and the guest as a tenant. And that's state by state, but here in Texas, they are guests, and we refer to ourselves as the owner and they are the guest. So what that does for us, if a tenant decides to stay and he stays past his lease date, we can kick him out that day and have the law enforcement come and kick him out. He's a guest. He doesn't have tenant rights. You don't have to evict him. You don't have to go through the process of anything. And one thing too, never refer to them as a squatter. They are not a squatter. They're a guest, and they have overstayed their welcome. There are a lot of different places to do Zillow or to do leases. I'm a realtor, so I use Texas Real Estate Commission. Zillow has them, KeyCheck has them. They're all over. We did one with AI. And so you can create leases anywhere, but make sure you get a lease. So at our midterm and short-term rentals, we use a lot of different tools. Each one of them have a smart Wi-Fi deadbolt. We use Schlage on all of them. I'm not real happy with it, but that's what we have. Weather, we'll get to those, and pretty soon they do not work. With that being said, have a lockbox out there with the key. We've had to go out and let a few people in, or had to call a locksmith, and then they ruin the lock and whatever. Also have on your owner's closet. You'll have an owner's closet. It can be the linen closet or whatever. That's where you keep all your toilet tissue and extra supplies. We have a keypad on that door as well. And the cleaning crew and ourselves, we have the code for that. Minute, I don't even know how to say this, minute, whatever. That's a cigarette and pot smoke detector. We had to do that after some guys sat and smoked for a week in our property, smoked pot, and then we had to, clean it out. So every one of them has that. We also have, in Louisiana, we have a cottage, and then way out across the property is an RV. So I had to put in this mesh Wi-Fi, and it basically, it transmits out to the RV. But the cool thing about this, and I feel like I need it at all the properties, I can get on there and see who's online. So if we have one guest and I get on there and I see 10 guests logged in, I know that they've got people there. And we do have exterior cameras, so we do keep an eye on that anyway, but that's kind of a neat thing. And then thinking of, people squatting or whatever, I can just shut it off in a heartbeat. And, people are wanting Wi-Fi and, all of that. They're not going to stay very long if they don't have internet. So I thought that was kind of cool. Other things we use, we do the Nest thermostat. I think that is mandatory for us. We've had such high electric bills, and now that we've put the Nest on, we see they get dressed in the morning, they turn it down to 60, they leave all day long, and it's still down to 60. So that allows us to take care of that. And then, of course, we have our alarm system with the cameras, exterior cameras. Organizing, we put together a list and this is if you're scaling and want to do several midterm rentals at the same time. We have lists in Home Depot, and now it's Lowe's, thanks to Tom, and Amazon. And we can go in and just click, 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 buy everything for the next property, and away we roll. Other options, rather than just midterm rentals, you can rent by the room, you can pad split, you can arbitrage a property, rent it from somebody else, and then rent it. Co-host, house hack, and master lease is basically arbitrage as well. Same thing for us is renting 1 to 2 bedroom apartments or homes. And in your area, it may be different. Do your research. It's all out there. What is renting and what is not. We do guest screening, and we do that through Furnish Finders. Courtney, what is that we use? Rent screening. Yeah, rent screening. Oh, KeyCheck. KeyCheck is what we do rent screening with, but that's in Furnish Finders as well. The tenant or the guest has to pay the fee to do that. And then we get back a credit report and all of that, criminal report. So it's a must for us. And lease, if you need a lease, if it's 29 days or above. Deposit, I like to take a deposit because it ensures that they're going to leave your property in good shape. If they don't have to worry about deposit, they don't care. If they're going to leave it however it is. And then a payment processing system. KeyCheck does that as well. There are other platforms that we're looking into right now. The issue with us is we've got midterm rentals, we've got short-term rentals, and we've got long-term rentals all under different companies. So we're having a hard time finding a program that will allow us to send funds to each and every one. I think I've found one, but I'm looking into it right now. And that's all I've got. Tom, you could probably add a lot to this. You guys have a lot of midterm rentals.
Yeah, I was just kind of taking notes here. I honestly, it's funny that people mention things all the time that I've never heard of. I've never heard of the 30-day stay book. I've never read that, so I wrote that down myself.
It's a good book.
Yeah. Can you repeat what that with the rent screening was? It's on Furnish Finders?
It is on Furnish Finders and it's called KeyCheck.
KeyCheck.
Look at the other one that I'm looking at. The other one that I just checked into, it's free. It's called Innago, INNAGO, and it's $2 to the guest for ACH or 2.99% if they use a credit card, and it's nothing for us. This is the one that allows us to send it to any checking account. So I'm looking into that. I think that's going to be our payment processing. And I think it's going to take over everything that KeyCheck does with this screening and everything like that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add. So the only question I have a couple things to kind of add and reiterate of what Lisa said. And good job. I appreciate you coming on and just kind of thinking through this. It takes a lot sometimes to kind of think through what you want to say and what you want to tell people. And I just want to let Lisa know we appreciate her for her time spent, not just on this call, but on the preparation for the call. But in your market, and I think markets are a little different. In your market, what are the price ranges that you're typically seeing for your studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom? Like what are you seeing that's kind of average in your market at least?
We're charging right around $2,400. So typically they're right around we've got midterm rentals charging $1,700 in this area, and I can't imagine making any money off of that since we pay all of the bills. But we do charge $2,400 and
is that 2 bedrooms?
1 or 2 bedroom.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in 2 markets. So to give you guys some perspective, we are in 2 different markets. One in Northwest Indiana, right outside Chicago, but on the Indiana side, and then the other in Pensacola. And honestly, like the 1 bedrooms don't go for more than $1,500 or $1,700. That's what it is. And for us, we almost have to buy apartments, or we got to like get a multi-unit in order to really make that work. We've even done our basement. We have a full 1 bedroom apartment in our own basement in our own house because we have a pretty large house that we've rented out for that $1,500. But you do see that every market around the country is different. So just make sure that you go into that thinking that. I will tell you from our perspective, my wife runs ours, and she is not a tech person at all. And all of the softwares that she just mentioned, we don't have any of them. We don't use any of those smart locks. We use like the keypad locks that we just change when our cleaner lady does it. So I don't want to discourage you from using those, because I think if that's your thing, go for it. But I don't want to, what I want to do is I want to encourage people to just figure it out and do it. Just do one and figure out what works for you. Because I think what's going to work for each person is going to be a little bit different for each person. So just keep that in mind. There are many different ways to do this. Some people do rental arbitrage. So some people rent a couple of ours, we actually rent from other people. We actually rent from people that we manage their properties for. And they pretty much give us carte blanche to do whatever we want, as long as we take care of the interior maintenance on the property. So that's one thing that we do promise if we do rental arbitrage, is that we'll take care of paint chips or little things like that. We don't take care of roofs or foundation issues or something like that. But that's a way to kind of get in this business of midterm, short-term rentals. If you could make that work. In our state, one thing I wanted to, ours is actually called, our lease is called a guest agreement, and not even a lease. So just ask your attorney, like what's applicable for your own state and what you can use. And obviously I would make sure an attorney looks at it regardless, even if it's a state contract personally, if it was me. I love AI, but I'd still have an attorney, look over that. I think that's a good thing. Anything you want to add, Jim? And because I know Jim's got some of these too.
Oh, yeah, I love mine. I love midterm. Thanks for doing this today, Lisa.
You're welcome.
I think, midterm is my favorite in between. I have all three. I have long-term, midterm, and some short-term. But I think midterm is my favorite. It's the highest cash flow. And with prices up, it's becoming more and more difficult to cash flow positive. But if you furnish and go midterm, you can still get there a lot easier.
Yeah.
Who else is doing midterms? Raise your hand.
I know Amy is.
Ken,
Maria?
Amy, you've got a ton of these, Ken, yeah.
We have 26 properties altogether. 17 we host for other investors, 8 we arbitrage, and 1 we own. Right now we have 11 midterms. I just put out there on the chat, our 1 bedrooms are $2,400 a month, our 2 bedrooms are $3,600, and our 3 bedrooms $4,500. And we also have 4 bedrooms. They're $6,000, and then we have 1 4-bedroom that's a large 4-bedroom at $7,000 a month.
Wow. What market are you in?
Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
Those are not pad split, but you're
No,
doing
that's
mostly
not including the
insurance.
pad split.
You're doing mostly insurance, not furnished finders with nurses. Nurses.
No, we don't. Yeah, we don't get nurses that come here. We just don't get them. So we're getting a lot of business. Getting a lot of business right now.
Yeah. How many wish they could get those rates? Especially in a cash flow market like Jackson. That's awesome.
That honestly has a lot to do with Brian. Brian markets like a madman. He really does. He's very good at it.
I agree. Kim, how about you? How are your rentals going?
Good. We actually have a studio, and we rent it out for off season. We rent it out for $1,800. In season, because we're at the shore. So in season, when we do a weekly rental, it's anywhere between $1,600 a week to $2,200 a week. And then we have a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, which is about 850 square feet. We rent that one out off season for $25,000, and in season anywhere between $1,800 to $2,400 a week.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing. Who else would like to share today where you're at and where you're running your furnished rentals?
Well, I could say we had a short-term rental place, one of our places, and it ended up that the guest wanted to see, he was working in the area, and he ended up staying there. And weekly he's getting the ACH withdrawn from his account every week. And he's been there, over a year now. So,
Nice.
yeah, I'm happy with that.
Love it when they extend.
Huh?
I love it when they extend.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But we did write up a lease, but I'm so glad that, Lisa, you mentioned about, on the lease putting guest rather than tenant. Because you could get them out of there that day. I've had no problems. These people take care of, his wife moved in and the dog too, but I'm okay with it because they take really good care of the place. And we have a short-term rental right behind that house. And they help us with the guests that come there in the short-term rental. So, and no charge. And they blow the leaves off the driveways, and it's great.
Nice.
So,
Sounds like it.
yeah,
Awesome.
but I have to remember that in the future, to put guests on there in case I ever do run into a problem, they could get out the same day or whatever, the next day.
I think I've been doing furnished rentals like 6 or 7 years. I've not had any eviction. I've had really no issue.
Well, we had one that wanted to extend it and he didn't pay. He said there was a problem, this and that. He stayed 3 extra days, but Airbnb actually reimbursed us for
Oh.
those days. So, it turned out okay. But yeah, you really got to watch who you put in there. If someone doesn't have a rating and all, we kind of look them up on Facebook and kind of,
I always do that.
yeah, I mean, if we get the last name, or whatever, but yeah, you got to watch who you put in your places for sure. But yeah, we've had no problems at all with our short-term or midterm rentals.
Tom Olson, you have so many of these. I mean,
And we've been
you
doing
must
short-term.
enjoy it. The cash flow, I mean.
It's just it's a lot of work, especially when you're doing as much as we're doing. And we've gone from short term to midterm kind of in our history. We started in 2015 with the short term rentals. We started with one. We thought it was fun. It was great. We went to two. And then two was kind of like, oh, this is actually work. You gotta actually get to do this. And then three was like almost a full-time job. And then we went to five. And we went from 5 to like 15 in like 8 months or a year. That's just kind of like the progression there. And 15 short-term rentals just sucked for us. It was just not good for us. All of our, like, we go to church on Sundays, and that's what that's what we do. And in the summertime, right? Like every one of them is turning over on Sundays. So like we were having cleaning ladies like cancel on us last second, and we were cleaning them ourselves, and we just said this is not for us. So right now, I know we have 52 total units. Only 2 of them are ever available for less than 30 days. One is our Arapahoe house in Florida, and then the other one, we have another house on the beach up here in Northwest Indiana. But all the other ones are 30-day minimums, and we like that. It's a lot closer to a regular lease. It's a lot of work to get set up. The setup is probably a little bit more work than I think what people think about.
For sure.
It is.
Expensive.
Like my wife has gotten it down where she can do a 1-bedroom now in 2 days, and I just think she's crazy. She's nuts. But
Let's ask everybody, how much does it cost to set up a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom?
it depends on how much stuff you already
It's gone
have.
up.
But typically for a 1-bedroom, we're only spending like $4,000 right now. For a 2-bedroom, it's probably more like 6 or 7. But a lot of the times though, we have so much stuff that we've kind of collected over the years that some of the larger items you can reuse. Some big things I would recommend is I would always highly recommend you get new and good beds, like mattresses. Bed frames you can get cheap on Amazon, but the actual mattresses, get good mattresses. The only thing we know is new in every single house is mattresses, TVs, kitchen appliances, like little kitchen stuff, towels and linens, but almost everything else you can get used.
Tom, just talking through this setup just brings back a lot of memories.
Your blood
Right?
pressure go
Not
up?
not all of them are good.
Did your
know.
blood pressure rise?
Well,
I told
Cheryl
my
does
wife,
all
if I have to
ours.
put up
Cheryl
one
might
more
have
set
a
of blinds or
person.
one more set of
You get like a twitch,
window treatments, man, I'm gonna go crazy.
I will say though, for us, the main thing we make sure of when we're putting a place up is the bed frame, honestly, is a steel, like the Zenith bed frames and the mattress, like you said. Those 2 things are requirements for us. Everything else, like we can find, like if that's the case, but we do kind of have a list, like she was talking about. We have a list, like Lisa was talking about. We have kind of a list on everywhere as well. But those bed frames and that mattress, those are 2 requirements for every place that we put up.
And I would
And
like
you
to
can
add,
create lists. So yeah, my
Yeah.
wife actually has a list in Amazon,
Yeah,
Target,
I do too.
and Walmart. So she basically, all she has to do is order from Amazon, Target, and
Yes.
Walmart. She has it all delivered.
Are those
And
lists shareable?
I don't know, I could
Yeah.
ask her.
I would like to add definitely a zipper mattress protector.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
A
too.
zipper.
To go with the bed.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
That's-
Absolutely.
And we don't do any screening really, honestly. We've only had
We do
one
very
problem,
little.
and we've had one problem. So
Yeah, I
like,
didn't have any.
and I will tell you, like we had more problems when we were doing the short-term rentals and we were allowing like one night stays type of deals. The
Same.
people you have problems with are always locals. It's always a local guy. So trust me, if I don't care what story they're giving you, if their zip code where they're telling you they're from is within like 50 miles of your house, like just run. The other thing on Airbnb is if they have two first names, it's probably not a right. Like if they have Steve Jim, like it's a fake. Like it's a guy that's just messing with you. So I don't care what they're telling you. Don't believe the story. Just run.
Well, also, we use Social Catfish is the one we use. It's $20 a month, but I'll make them pay for it if it's a situation where I need someone. I was hiring people is what I was doing, and I make them pay for it. So, but we use Social Catfish, but it's $20 a month, and I figure if I need to look up somebody, I'm looking them up on there. Even Airbnb. I looked up a guy one time, and I found out that he was actually using somebody else's credit card through Vrbo. And I found out, I called Vrbo and they told me that in their system, everything was fine. But I found out he was using a guy's credit card from California. And I actually canceled the reservation and I called back Vrbo and told them this is the situation. And Vrbo acted like everything was still fine. I just told them, no, it's not fine. They didn't believe me, but I knew that everything was not okay because I use OwnerRez and I can see everybody's information that's coming through and I could tell it wasn't okay. And they just said it looked okay on their end. And I told them it wasn't okay on my end. And so I canceled it anyway. And then I actually called the guy who made the booking and told him that he could not stay because the credit card was not his name. And he told me, oh, a friend of mine must have booked it. And I said, no, I don't think your friend in California booked it because I called the guy in California and he told me his credit card was stolen 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, if you have like OwnerRez, Hospitable, something like that, it'll give you that information to where you can see things don't match up and you can know something's not okay. It does help you with that information by having some kind of property management or what's it called? A property. Help me out here. That kind of OwnerRez, Hospitable, one of
Yes.
those kind of.
Okay.
So that does help.
Who has a question? We've heard from quite a few in our group. Take it away, Maria. Good to see you. You got to unmute.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here. My dog's barking in the background. I'm
You're good.
sorry. I'm so new at this thanks to Lisa and Kim. Lisa is busy as she is, and each of y'all, I can't wait to meet everybody in person. I mean, I'm so new at doing this. I decided I just dumped like a little over 20,000 in a house that I repaired that's been a long-term rental, and I just was over it. But how about Lisa and Jim and Tom, like my new midterm person? And I think now I'm charging too low for my 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but it was a new person. But how about referral or giving? She said she's so excited how I've treated her, like giving, what am I saying? Not referrals, but like,
A thank you gift for referring people.
just everything. Yes. And her, and how about on your sites, does somebody put in, suggestions or things about what they've enjoyed or just anything? Compliments, being grateful, does anybody do that or show that on stuff or?
So are you talking about from the host to the guest or from the guest back to the host?
The guest to the host. Yes.
So honestly, like
Occasionally, yeah.
it's just
How
part of our
important.
process. It's just part of the process to thank them for their stay and
Yeah.
what they're doing. And then
Okay.
normally we have a little goodie bag for them and we always actually do a handwritten note when they come in. So every single guest that comes into every one of our properties gets a handwritten note, and we don't give them wine or anything like that, but we'll give them just like a little snack bag and just something really small with just a handwritten thank you for staying at our thing at our house. Hope you enjoy it. If you need anything, that's
did
all.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She, she's given so
So
many.
our travel nurses, we don't do anything. They just get a welcome email, the code, and a thank you when they move out, and then we ask them for a review.
A review. Yeah,
Yeah.
ask for reviews.
You, that's what I guess I was trying to say. Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else have a question?
Susan asks Amy, what do you attribute to high rental fees in your market? I think it's just because you're marketing, you're pitching directly to,
I think it's partly your avatar.
yeah, you're looking for insurance.
Well,
That means-
also, I mean, I break it down sometimes because they're like, oh, $4,500 a month. That's so high. And I'm like, but where can you get a hotel for 6 people for $150 a night? You
I
get a
get-
full kitchen, laundry, full-size
Nice
washer,
yard,
dryer.
yeah,
Where
driveway.
you gonna stay so comfortable for $150 a night for 6 people? Break
Yeah,
it
we
down.
I mean, we have 4 vacancies right now, and one is our Arapahoe house, which you stayed at.
Which I
and
love.
I cannot fill that house. Like in the wintertime, it stays 100% occupied. I don't have a single problem with it from
Seasonal.
like April till August. Nah, probably in September, October. And then like November, December, January, February, like there's
But that also isn't a beach area, so it's one of those things, I'm sure. Unfortunately.
but I would love to put insurance people in there.
Yeah. You have it on Zillow?
You tweak the price on off-season.
Yep. It's like half of what it is in the summer.
Yeah, I wound up in Louisiana doing very low during the week because all we were getting were weekend stays constantly. So I lowered the weekday to close to what the scuzzy little hotel was in town, and we started booking up like more, like they would book Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or stay Monday, and that kind of helped us fill it a little bit more. But just tweaking the price on it sometimes helps.
Yeah, we change it every day. We change something every day on that listing. That's something else that you've learned if you kind of get in groups and you learn from this stuff. Like they basically tell you to go in every single listing and do something every single day, like add a picture, change your.
It helps on like the Airbnb algorithm, but it doesn't really help on furnished finders.
Correct.
Yeah.
What drives
Check
the
out
furnished
Rank Breeze.
finder-
It'll tell you exactly where you are in it. I found out we're on page 1, listing 4 or whatever, and because I was just thought we weren't even showing up. It's actually really a cool program.
And that's called Rent Breeze, right? I wrote that down.
Rank, R-A-N-K.
Right.
Right.
And that's the one that I found out we're charging 150 cleaning fee. Everyone else is 125.
It also can give you keywords to put in your listing, like on
Yes.
your actual listing, but also in your listing, like in description. It'll give you words for title, words for description. So we do that, and Alicia has taught to actually put the words, like if you go to look at ours, it has it like I put it so it shows up because we do use Vrbo. We use Airbnb and Vrbo. So in the description, I'll put in there like the following words within quotations are keyword tags only. I'll have a description there. And I put those words in the description, like even if they don't have anything to do with it. Some of them will say beach, and we don't have a beach near us. But because Rank Breeze said these words are keywords, I put them in my listing. I try to have them where they're not like up high, so people have to read all through that. But I put them on every single one of ours, whatever the keywords are, hoping
I'm
to
going to
get.
use Rank Breeze's SEO on our next one in Taylor. I'm going to let them do it, and
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah.
There you go. But
I
it's a
didn't know they had
it's a
it done
good
for you.
source.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's only $300 and something, and I don't know how many hours I spent, going through their information and doing it myself. So I'm hiring
Nice.
them this
Are you
time.
doing that on your midterm 30-day plus also, Lisa, or just?
Yes, I do it on all of our properties.
I like it. Check it out.
Any other questions everybody has?
How'd you guys like today's Dealmaker Zoom? Is Lisa a rock star or what?
Awesome.
Got you, Lisa. Yes, thank you.
I have a question, Jim.
Go ahead.
Hey, Tom Nardone here. And I shared this with Amy and Brian a couple of weeks ago and when they were in town. I had a guest on one of my Airbnbs that Vacasa manages, a national rental company. one of my guests that was booked for like after Christmas lied and said that I called them and encouraged them to cancel their stay. And I canceled on them, and they suspended me from Airbnb for 5 days.
Oh my
And
God.
it's just absolutely a lie. So, what do you do in a case like that? Do you have any recourse against Airbnb? It's like, you're in most cases, you're innocent until proven guilty. They never called me, asked me for my opinion, or you're just boom, you're suspended. I'm like, why? And they said, because you encouraged a guest to cancel. I said, absolutely a lie. Why would I do that? My objective is to keep the property full. So,
Yeah, I would
I think in the last year, Airbnb's support has gone 100% toward the guest and against the owners. It is horrible. If you want anything, a payout for anything, you might as well just save your time. They are just worthless these days.
yeah.
I will. So we had that experience about 2 or 3 years ago. And I think it was actually Alicia who kind of helped me through that. Well, there's 2 parts of this. First of all, if it's in your rules, like Airbnb has to go by what your rules say. So if they agree to the rules, Airbnb will fight for you. The problem is most of us don't have enough rules in our rules. So we literally added like 100 rules to our rules. And then we got that right from Alicia on the rule side. Now, from what you're talking about though, Tom, I highly encourage you guys for VRBO and Airbnb to make sure you're taking advantage of their extra agents. If you have like more than, I think it's 3 or 4 or 5 properties, you can get your own, like, I don't know what they call them, concierge agent or whatever, that you can go and talk to that person. And then that person is kind of like your extra person to kind of help. So the relationship with the individual person will really help for VRBO and for Airbnb. Those are the only platforms I know that have the extra touch of that person that you can have like your own. I don't even know what they call them, but it's for people that have more properties. So if you have, I don't know how many it is, if it's 3 or 5, it's not a ton. It's not like 10 or 20, but if you've got more properties, you need to have that person that you can go and talk to. It's still a pain. I'm not going to say it's not a pain, but in your case, Tom, that would be the exact, way that and you actually need to call Airbnb and actually protest it yourself. Like you cannot just you cannot just roll over, because if you roll over, then you are presumed guilty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Interesting. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tom. Good to see you.
You too.
Can't wait to see you on the cruise here in February.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And as you mentioned, Tom, thanks for the announcing that. We do have some room left. We had a last minute cancellation. So if anyone would like to come aboard, love to have you. It's going to be a great group of people.
I'm looking forward to it. And Tom, it was great to have breakfast with you a couple weeks ago.
Same here, Jim.
Yeah, we're going to a place I've never been. Have you been to Aruba?
I've never been to Aruba either.
I have not. It'll be a first for me.
I'm excited about that. I really am. So, all right. Well, cool.
You can hang out with Lisa.
Yeah. What I say about these cruises is all you guys are stuck on a cruise with us, and you have to sit with us and eat dinner. So you're just stuck with us the entire time. It's awesome.
It's like escape room with no escape.
Yeah.
I can't wait. All right. Well, I just want to remind everybody about next month's call. So next month is with Felipe. And he's going to talk about how you can avoid what he has as the 5 biggest deal killers. He's going to talk about that. I'm excited about that. January 28th through that's 11 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Central. If we don't get to meet each other or text or whatever, chat in the next couple of weeks, I pray that everybody will have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And just make sure you love on those loved ones. And we'll see you next month.
See you guys later.
Christmas, everyone.
Thanks, Lisa.
Have a good day, guys. Good to see you, Jim. Good to see you, Tom, Lisa. Great people on this call.